because of what St. Jude has done. So we're very thankful.
Several organizations host a meeting to determine needs in the Big Sandy after 1 year following the July 2022 flood. And a children's camp in Floyd County combines learning with summertime fun.
Hot weather continues to infiltrate the mountains when we could see heat indices near 100 coming up as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Several organizations are hosting a meeting in Floyd County in an effort to assist flood victims nearly a year after the July 2022 floods. The Floyd County Disaster Relief Coalition, Big Sandy Area Development District, as well as St. Bernard Parish is inviting those who were affected by flooding a year ago to stop by and seek help.
We will have caseworkers there that you can connect with, and then we can begin the process of getting you hopefully the help that you need. There may be, we're hopeful to have other agencies there as well that they can also connect with.
Officials add that the goal is to help victims return to where they were prior to the natural disaster. The meeting at the Floyd County Community Center will continue until 6 p.m. Camp Falcon took flight this week, bringing students to the David School in Floyd County for a week of fun. The third annual event switched things up this year, incorporating places around the county to make students more familiar with their own backyards, celebrating the largest class of campers the school has seen so far.
I've had new kids show up today, so we're glad to accommodate as many as that want to come. Next year we're going to have it again, and I'd love to have 100 kids.
Campers visited the Floyd County Library and the Mountain Arts Center today. Hear from some of the students tonight at 6.
Heat continues out there this afternoon with many locations now above the 90-degree mark thanks to that plenty of sunshine. The view from our Buffalo Mountain camera here in Perry County, 90 degrees now from our hazard reporting station. Just a couple of fair weather clouds out there now. You see those temperatures just about everywhere now, 90 or 91. The exceptions, Pikeville, Jacksboro, Logan at 88, Clintwood's at 89, Wise, the usual cooler spot at 82, Middlesboro also at 89. Everybody else at least 90 or above. Factor in dew points that are by and large in the upper 60s to low 70s. You get feels like temperatures at 100 in Monticello. It feels like 98 in Jackson, 97 in Jonesville, and 95 apiece down the Hal Rogers Parkway from Somerset to London to Manchester. We'll continue to see very hot weather as we head through the remainder of today and tomorrow and Friday as well. We may see a shower try to sneak in, but for the most part, tonight looking dry. Your forecast first, we're not dropping a whole lot, down only into the middle 70s for overnight lows. Steve, I'll have the latest on when we see some of the hottest weather of the summer in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. Police in the Dallas, Texas area are seeking answers today after a doctor was shot inside a medical clinic yesterday. The suspect in the shooting was taken into custody and hospitalized after a shootout with police. J.D. Miles reports.
As many as 5 Cedar Hill police officers fired into a car of a wanted man on Beltline Road just after 12:30. Charlie Walker says he saw it happen.
And when they started shooting, I started crawling back into the store here where I work at.
While witnesses like Walker took cover, Cedar Hill police were taking down a gunman who they say minutes earlier had shot and wounded a physician at the Methodist clinic just down the road. Police Chief Eli Reyes says it started just after noon with a call about a man with a gun at the clinic.
At 12:18, dispatch heard a gunshot.
The chief says when officers arrived, they found a physician on the ground and wounded. They also saw the suspected shooter leave in a black sedan, but it wrecked into another vehicle about a block away.
At 12:22, the suspect vehicle was involved in a crash in the 700 block of East Beltline. There were multiple officers on scene of the crash. They observed the suspect inside the vehicle with a long gun, and the officers discharged their firearms.
The suspect was taken to a hospital in critical condition, while the traumatic scene led some nearby businesses to close for the day. Authorities removed the long gun found on the suspect and have spent the hours since trying to piece together the motive behind the shooting at the clinic as well as the police response that left the suspect's car riddled with bullet holes.
Okay, there are multiple body camera and in-car videos that will be reviewed as part of this investigation. However, they have not been reviewed yet.
It was J.D. Miles reporting the police department has placed all the officers involved in the incident on administrative leave. A fire on a tall construction crane in Manhattan has caused its arm to hit a building as it crashed to the street below. Photos and videos posted to social media show flames bursting from the car of a crane hundreds of feet above 10th Avenue and 41st Street today. The crane's arm scraped the top floors of a skyscraper across the street as it fell. People ran for their lives on the sidewalk below.
My reaction is like, oh my gosh, I hope there's nobody downstairs. You know, like there's so many things going on at 7 o'clock in the city, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning. People are going to school, summer camp. You know, there's always someone around in this area because it's so popular and it's so populated.
A fire official says the crane's operator tried to put out the fire as it spread but had to leave for safety. New York City's mayor says at least 4 people were injured. In Oregon, their governor has declared an emergency in response to a wildfire burning in Klamath Falls. That's on the southwest side of that state. Damian Alvarado has more.
Our job with the fire is to put the fire out so that the recovery process can begin.
The Golden Fire is being managed by 2 groups, the Oregon State Fire Marshal and the Oregon Department of Forestry. They're working together to control the fire. Blind Mountain resident shares how quick he was to leave when he heard evacuation orders.
I tell my wife, start prepping the important stuff that we need to evacuate with. I come down here, look and assess the situation and realize we got to get out fast.
After being cleared to return home, Bob Cooper stepped forward to help those whose homes had been burned.
Helped our friends from church that lost everything but one structure and, you know, kind of put water down in some hot spots and gave him a 500-gallon tank, you know, for his house so he can get water back so he can clean himself up after working in the fire all day. So
the Oregon State Fire Marshal released information that they've looked into the areas affected by the fire, and over 43 homes and 43 small buildings have been destroyed.
Pretty distraught. I mean, the people I know are just emotionally upset, which you expect them to. They got to rebuild their whole life. That's all we can do.
That was Damian Alvarado reporting. When you think of extreme weather in Minnesota, you probably think of snow and cold, but officials in that state are asking drivers to think of something else: buckled pavement. They say it's a hazard in the Twin Cities due to a brutal heat wave, and drivers need to be on the lookout for it. Department of Transportation officials say one highway in Maple Grove had so much damage it needed hours of repairs. Several days of excessive heat warnings have staff at the Reid Park Zoo in Tucson, Arizona, taking extra precautions to make sure their animals are not getting overheated. Officials are closely monitoring several species at the zoo to ensure they stay healthy. Shelby Slaughter has that story.
It didn't take long to start sweating out here in this heat, but for animals here at the Reid Park Zoo, it's not as easy for them to escape this heat. Officials tell me they're closely monitoring several species here at the zoo to make sure that they stay healthy. A day so hot, grizzly bear Finley is staying put, seeking out shade inside her cooling habitat.
But we definitely provide more cooling opportunities for like our grizzly bear, who has a very nice thick coat and tends to be more in cooler climates.
Animal care supervisor Julia Barris spent today, like she does most days during the summer, dropping off ice treats to help cool animals down, telling me they're constantly working to make sure the animals stay comfortable. Meerkats today getting a special treat with their food mixed in with ice, giving them another way to cool down.
A lot of our animals have access to coolers and fans, both on habitat and behind the scenes.
She says when they make their rounds, they're observing the animals to make sure their health is top tier.
Showing any signs of stress or getting overheated, and we don't hesitate to bring them in because their welfare comes first.
This goes for animals who aren't typically used to the desert climate, like Finley, as well as giant anteaters and other South American species which live in the rainforest.
We're looking for them maybe looking a little extra lethargic, a little extra tired. In the case of like the grizzly bear, maybe panting a little excessively.
Barris says if an animal is showing signs of being overheated, that animal stays indoors to cool down. And the Reid Park Zoo closes at 2 o'clock during the summer. That allows the animals to escape the heat and get some shelter during the hottest parts of the day.
Coming up on First at 4, a deal reached between UPS and its union avoids what could have been a very costly strike.
And we're keeping it toasty as we head through the remainder of this week. Just how toasty? Up next.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking